was a fucking good little exercise.
Yeah. Okay. So this has been Oh No Not Them, and thank you all for watching.
No. We got more to do, buddy.
Damn it.
My good friend Eddie Hopple requested that we review one of my favorite movies ever.
Love this movie.
Se7en.
Love it.
This movie was released on September 22nd of 1995. Written by Andrew Kevin Walker and directed by the fucking incomparable madman that is David Fincher. David Fincher is a fucking genius, but he's disturbed. This movie shows that. It was recorded. I guess it was recorded. It was made on a budget of $33 million. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $66.4 million. And the box office take was $327.3 million, which adjusted for inflation is $659 million.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Talk about a profit.
Our cast of characters. We have Brad Pitt as Detective David Mills. Morgan Freeman as Detective William Somerset.
While I was watching this, you need to go back and look at other Morgan Freeman movies where he's a detective. He is so good when it comes to shit like that. Like Along Came a Spider.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Morgan
God.
Freeman's good in anything he does.
Yeah.
All right. Gwyneth Paltrow. But is this? I wonder if this is before she started steaming her vagine.
Definitely well before.
Okay. As Tracy Mills. Then we have the one and only R. Lee Ermey as the police captain, who doesn't really get a name.
Which I forgot he was in this.
Richard Roundtree as Martin Talbot, who is the DA. And finally, the incredibly disturbing Kevin Spacey as John Doe.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the movie opens. We meet Detective Somerset. He's a week away from retirement. In a city where it's always raining.
How about that shit?
Always
Well,
raining.
I think there was a symbology to that because if you noticed, the closer they got to finding out what was going on, the less rain it happened. It was pouring in the beginning.
Yes.
And then as they got near the end, it was a drizzle, and then in the very end, it was in a dry fucking desert.
Yep.
That is.
So there was some sort of symbology
Yeah.
there, but God, everything was fucking wet.
Yes, it was. And he's, like I said, Somerset is a week away from retirement, and he's partnered up with this young hotshot detective, David Mills.
I could just think of Lethal Weapon. I'm too old for this shit.
Kind of, yeah.
And he was younger than us at the time, probably.
Probably. No, Freeman.
Oh.
Remember, like Fred Sanford was younger than us in Sanford and Son.
Yeah, shut up.
So it's like,
Yeah.
yes.
So, Monday, they investigate the death of an obese man who was fed spaghetti until his stomach ruptured and he died.
Yes. Yes. And he actually, they threw up in the bucket and if he would throw it back up, he'd go and get, they said the guy went to the fucking store to get more spaghetti.
Yep.
Yeah.
Canned spaghetti, too. The nastiest of the spaghettis.
Yeah. And the word gluttony is scrawled on the wall.
Correct.
What a disturbing way to die.
You think?
But we have not even cracked the fucking surface.
Oh.
So Somerset, he tries to get off this case. It's like, look, let me pass this on to somebody else.
Yeah.
But the chief ain't having none of it.
Nope.
No, you got to stay on this with Mills. So now Tuesday rolls around. Keep in mind, this movie takes place, it seems to be in the span of a week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tuesday rolls around. They go to investigate another victim who has had to cut off a pound of his own flesh. This is a sleazeball attorney, an ambulance chasing attorney. and he's forced to give his pound of flesh. And the word greed
Yep.
is scrawled on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
That was on the carpet.
Or on the carpet, yes.
Blood, yeah.
Are we sensing a theme yet? Because Detective Somerset is starting to.
Correct.
I think he got the theme as soon as he found gluttony.
He might have.
Yeah.
But now here's where they also find the clues that lead them to the third victim.
I was going to say, is this where they pull the shit out of the fat guy's stomach?
Well, no, that was
vial.
that's They pulled that stuff, and that's how they found the first word, because it was the scrapes from the fridge.
That's correct.
Which, and again, this is, I mean, I'll explain.
That's right. It was behind the fridge.
But dear God, the leaps of fucking logic in this fucking movie. Oh, good Lord.
Well, it's a good detective.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's
Morgan Freeman's a good detective. Shut up.
look.
And plays one on TV.
I may be bearing the lead on this, but fuck, did I not like this movie?
Are you?
I kind of figured that.
Basically, because the story, and again, Jesus Christ, I said the leaps in logic.
Now, we get on to the third victim. And this is by far the most disturbing.
Well, they find him because his fingerprints were found at the second victim's place.
Correct.
Like I said, they find the clues that lead them there.
Yeah,
The third
and
victim.
it's like, and again, it's like the clues are like, if you've ever played the video game Myst, where it's
that's
oh
a tough
yeah,
game.
yeah, and like I said, you have to get everything exactly perfect to figure out exactly what you're looking for. And that just reminded me of, it's like, as I said, the leaps in logic. One fuck up along the way, none of this happens.
Well, he's a good detective.
Oh, fuck with that good detective.
He's been in he's ready to retire. That's how long he's been in the business.
Anyway,
Okay.
so they find what they think is a corpse.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We jumped ahead a little bit. They go into the apartment of a known sexual assaulter and, shall we say, kitty diddler. Yes, he was a
Pedophile.
He was a known.
No, I'm trying to remember the sloth guy, or no?
No.
Where are we at then?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yes, the sloth guy.
Okay.
Yes. They go
I
into
remember calling him that.
when they're in the back of the when they're
Okay.
going out to the desert.
All right.
So they walk into they go into the apartment, and for some reason, there's hundreds of little tree air fresheners hanging from the fucking ceiling. They go into the bedroom, and they see what appears to be a corpse.
Emaciated, shriveled.
Not emaciated, desiccated.
There you go. There you go. Dry it up. Yes.
On the bed. He's not fucking dead.
No, he's not. He fucking sat up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or he moved.
And,
He
moved.
didn't-
and the guy playing the head cop, and he was in Scrubs, but the guy playing the head cop, my God, was he gung ho. I mean, he's just like, I'm gonna kill you. It's like, dude, he's not moving. He's not gonna move, and he's strapped the fuck down.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they didn't know that. They just saw a sheet under the
Yeah.
fucking bed.
Yeah.
Or they just saw a body under the sheet. But then they find pictures detailing a year of this guy's fucking torture. Imagine that. Like being starved, fed, and given just enough food and water to sustain your life.
Correct.
Where you are literally a desiccated husk of a human being
And
over a year.
and gave him antibiotics so he wouldn't get sick.
Yes, and to keep the bed sores at bay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because did you notice the bed sores on the legs?
Yes.
So now we're learning that this guy's fucking patient.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're learning that our offender is patient. So they go out to trace. Now, in the interim, Tracy, Detective Mills's wife, calls Somerset, and they arrange to meet up for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Tracy drops on Somerset that she doesn't want to be in the city. She didn't want to move to the city. And she's fucking pregnant.
Correct.
And Somerset lets go of his deep, dark secret that, he was in a long-term relationship and she got pregnant and he convinced her to have an abortion.
Mm-hmm.
And he regrets it. And so he tells Tracy, unless you want to have, you're sure you want to have this baby, do not fucking tell David.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to come into play a little later on. And she says the city's a bad place to raise a kid.
Correct.
And the way that this whole movie is played out, this city is fucking just riddled with crime.
Absolutely.
It's terrible.
Nighttime, that's all you heard was gunshots and screams.
Yep. Now, they pay off a sleazy FBI agent, played by Mark Boone Jr., Bobby Elvis from Sons of Anarchy,
Oh.
to get them information on people that are checking out certain library books.
Mm-hmm.
Not the kind of library books that today will get you flagged, but library books on the 7 deadly sins.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
Which, again, the way they frame that like every library book goes into an FBI database that no one's really going to use for anything. I'm like, well, why the fuck have it? It's like,
Right.
it's just,
Right.
that was a good MacGuffin.
Yeah. So this leads him to the apartment of John Doe.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Now, I don't know what city this is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he has an ID that says John Doe. But you don't really need to prove your identity to rent an apartment.
Well, I mean, this was the 90s, and
Like I said, it's a city.
again, they've more or less established that the guy has money. So I'm sure, like if you like double the month's rent,
Oh yeah, I'm sure
the guy
there's.
will just turn the other way.
Oh, I'm sure there were sleazy landlords. There's still sleazy landlords that would do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So they search the house and they find, like
Yeah.
you said, a
Now-
shitload of money.
Now,
Yes.
the best thing is there was a great mistake in this scene that I noticed. Before they kick down the door, the door's already broken.
Huh.
Because I think it might have been maybe the second take
like
or
they
something.
I got
'Cause-
you.
And as Brad's going, he's like, "No, we can't go in there. We can't do that. We need a search warrant and all that." The door's already broken at that point. And then finally he just kicks the door. And then you see, and then they show now the door is broken.
Well, this is after the chase,
Yeah, but it was already broken.
right?
The door was already broken
Right.
at that point.
But and now here, if you know anything about the way probable cause and exigent circumstances work, now this is after the foot chase where
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's been clubbed
Yeah.
Yes.
with a fucking tire iron. Guess what? That's assault on a police officer. Those are fucking exigent circumstances. That's
Correct.
probable cause. They know this is where this guy lives.
Yeah.
They can legally enter.
Yeah, because they were getting ready to go in or at least knock, and then he came walking down
And
the
shot
hallway,
at him.
Yeah.
saw them and shot at
But
him.
then they paid off the homeless woman anyway to say that's where the murders were happening
Right.
and all this other stuff.
Right. But like I said,
Yeah.
the way probable cause and exigent circumstances would work,
Yep.
they would have the legal right to kick that fucking door.
The thing is, though, I think a good lawyer could argue that they were there before the shots happened.
They were there to talk.
But why were they there?
Why were they to talk? Because they got the information
Right.
that
From the
and
library.
he became a
But
suspect.
they also, like I said, a lawyer could argue you don't know who fired the shots at you. It could just be some guy in a crime-ridden city shooting at people. You know, I think a lawyer, and I think Morgan Freeman's character was right. A lawyer could have used that against them.
Not really. Any good DA will make that work.
Mm-hmm.
A good DA will make that work
This was a
because
sleazy city.
oh yeah, but a good DA would have made that work, and 9 times out of 10, in a situation like that, the judge and the DA are going to side with the cops anyway. But anyway, so they find a fuck ton of money. Okay, this guy's loaded, and more disturbing, they find hundreds of notebooks detailing his life. And if you looked at it, it looked like one giant run-on sentence. I didn't see a fucking period anywhere. Not a comma to be seen.
Yeah, the trophy cases of all the different things, which was weird, but yeah, I get it.
And then he found then they find the pictures of the victims, and also pictures of detectives Mills and Somerset.
Correct.
They thought he was just some sleazebag journalist.
Yeah.
This is when tabloids were a big thing. So now they're sitting there, and the phone rings, and Mills answers, and it's John Doe. So we are not done yet. Saturday rolls around now. They find lust. It's a it's a sex worker who has been the victim of a custom-made bladed strap-on.
Which they actually tracked down where they made that.
Yes.
But they never showed what it was at that guy's leather shop.
No, they showed it in a picture.
It's like, yeah, you made this? They ask, but you made this? It's like...
Yeah. And the guy, one of the guys that played in T-Bird's gang in The Crow was the owner of the sex shop.
Okay.
Oh, God.
That was him. I can't remember his name. It was the guy that played Skank.
Okay.
And then, like they take him into custody, and they take the guy who used the strap on said sex worker.
Who that guy is a character actor victim. I've seen him play the victim, or in so many movies.
Yeah,
he's perfect at it.
He's very good. And then on Sunday, they find Pride. She's a model. John Doe has disfigured her because you're a fucking ugly person on the inside. You should be an ugly person on the outside is what it boils down to. And she was so shallow. And this is like how John Doe explains it. A person so shallow and so ugly on the inside that if she couldn't be beautiful on the outside, she didn't want to live.
Correct.
Because I think they glued sleeping pills in one hand.
Yep.
And phone for help in the other.
Yes.
Which you going to take?
Yep.
And I think she took the sleeping pills.
Yep.
Which, okay.
Unfucking believable. Rather than be ugly, she decides to fucking, to check out. So now they're heading back to the precinct. And John Doe walks in the fucking building and surrenders.
Correct.
They go to fingerprint him. He has no fingerprints. Because if you remember in the beginning, they showed somebody scraping his fingertips off with a razor.
Yes.
He has no fingertips. And he makes he agrees to confess on certain conditions.
Correct.
Detective Mills and Somerset have to accompany him to an unspecified location at a time of his choosing. And only Detective Mills and Somerset can do this.
Correct.
Otherwise, his lawyer says he's going to plead insanity. Well, in the real world, that very rarely works.
Correct.
An insanity plea very rarely works. But anyway, he says that's what's going to happen. So they go out to this location. Now, the next thing is they're in a car. Mills and Somerset are driving John Doe out to this unspecified location in the desert. And this is the first time in the movie it's not fucking raining.
And I'm trying to think of something. In what place is there a city where it rains all the time and it's next to a desert? Where the fuck can that be?
Well, they drove for a long time though.
Well, okay.
Washington.
Very well could be.
Because there's desert in Washington, and then there's Seattle rains all the time.
Yeah.
But they never specify what city this
Yeah,
is.
you're correct.
Um,
California, possibly.
could be. Who knows? Now they know that this is the 7 deadly sins. We have 2 sins left. We have envy, and we have wrath. And they're thinking that John Doe is going to lead them to envy and wrath.
And he's talking the whole time, just egging them the fuck on.
Yep.
The whole entire time.
And he gives his explanation
Yes.
as to why he did what he's doing the things he's doing.
Correct.
That we, as a society, we've become apathetic to sin. We see sin on every corner and we just walk away. We just walk on by. And what I do will be studied for generations. And then Mills, you're a freak.
Yes.
Kind of very, very dismissive.
Yes.
Okay. So now we have they get to the location. Mills and Somerset are both wired. Okay. And there's a helicopter following, providing air support. And now we have a delivery truck coming up.
Oh, yeah.
From out of
John Doe
nowhere.
asked, what time is it?
Yeah.
And he was like, why do you want to know? I'm just curious. It was 7:01.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the delivery truck driver shows up and says, "I want some guy paid me $500 to be here at 7:00 on the nose," and gives Somerset a box.
That's right. They stopped. They stopped the truck before it got close to them. Somerset went walking to the truck.
Yep.
And told Pitt to stay with John Doe.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
And at this point, Mills has his gun drawn on John Doe
Correct.
because they're thinking that this guy is there to help.
Yep.
So he gives this box to Somerset. And Somerset opens the box.
And at the same time, Mills and John Doe are talking back and forth, and John Doe is mentioning where he was earlier in the day.
Yes. That he visited his pretty wife, Tracy.
Correct.
And
Because he wanted to be like him.
yes, I envy you.
Correct.
I think you know where we're going. So at this time, like Jim said, Somerset's opening this box. We never see it, but come to find out, it's Tracy's head.
And he yells to Mills to put the gun down.
Put the gun down. John Doe has the upper hand. John Doe has the upper hand.
Exactly.
So then we get the infamous, what's in the box?
Yes.
Come on, what's in the box?
Absolutely.
That everybody knows.
Yeah.
And John Doe's plan works to perfection.
Because then he mentions about
Becoming
baby.
wrath.
Yes, the baby.
Yeah, that's right. He mentions he didn't know.
Yeah, you didn't know.
I decided to take a souvenir, so I took her pretty head. She begged for her life, and she begged for the life of the baby inside her. And the look on Brad Pitt's face, oh, he didn't know. And then he tells Brad Pitt to become wrath. And sure as shit, he does.
Pop.
Yep. He pops him. And that's essentially the end of the movie. Somerset says he's going to be around. He finally retires. All right, he's going to retire, but he'll be around if he's needed. And there's a voiceover with a great quote from Ernest Hemingway. Somerset says in the voiceover, he says, Ernest Hemingway once wrote, "The world is a fine place and worth fighting for." I agree with the second part. The world is worth fighting for, but in a lot of times it's not a fine place.
Yeah.
So we've already
Yeah.
established the fact that Bill didn't like it. But now we need to know, to what degree did you not like it? Is it just the thumbs down or is it the finger?
Oh, this one's the finger. I absolutely this.
Are
movie-
you fucking kidding me?
First off,
Show me. You got to show it.
right up.
Okay.
Right up. This movie, I felt there was a lot of great actors in it. A lot of great actors that I really feel. I think any actor could have been in any of these roles, and it would have made a damn bit of difference.
No.
Nobody
couldn't replace Morgan Freeman.
You couldn't replace Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Oh, that too.
Arlie
Absolutely.
Ermy was wasted in this role.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm serious. It just did not work. And also, some of these movies, and there've been movies like this before, where everything the bad guy does has to go according to plan, in exacting fashion, and everybody has to do exactly what they want at all times. If he doesn't connect the plastic shavings with the floor, they never find the first thing and the note.
correct. That's called being a good detective.
No, and then if they don't notice that if the wife doesn't notice the picture is upside down, they never find the handprint, which never leads them to sloth. And then when they finally do the library thing, that supposedly throws the villain's plan all out of whack. Well, where the fuck was Wrath and Envy then before that? What was your plan before? Because that seemed made up on the fucking spot.
No. Everything happened according to John Doe's plan. He wanted them to find them.
There's no way that Wrath and Envy thing was part of the plan.
Oh, it was.
I see what he's saying.
Because he wasn't even there. Brad Pitt's character wasn't even there a year ago when the shit started.
You're right. You're not wrong there. But he took their picture.
As I said, everything was contingent. I mean, let's face it. He set up the delivery guy before he gave himself up in custody because they said there was a third person's blood.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was all. So he
That was
already.
after he killed
So if they would have
Tracy.
sat there and said, you know what? Fuck him. No confession. There's the delivery guy showing up in the desert for no reason now. You see what I mean? It's like everything piece has to go. There's no, and I hate when they do that in movies, where it's like it's almost like it doesn't matter what anybody does. The conclusion's the same. Like there's no decision making process. And this was a chore to watch. It really was.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I did not like
but
this.
it's a movie, so it's not like, oops, they got in a car accident while driving to the desert, and that's how. No, that screws everything up. No,
That could have happened. A flat
I'm
tire
just
could have
saying.
derailed the end of this
but
movie.
it's not written that way, is it?
Well, it doesn't matter how. Yeah, of course, it's
It
not.
does
written
matter
that
how
way.
it's written.
It just. As I said, I don't like those movies that basically, no matter what the heroes do, it's already predetermined.
A wrestling fan having a problem with suspension of disbelief.
I'm sorry. I just thought this was again.
A wrestling fan that has a problem with suspending disbelief.
It's not the fact. I'm sorry. It's just this. I did not. And I thought, and again, I really wasn't impressed with a lot of the acting in it either. I've seen all these people in other movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Infinitely better in every other movie. You know?
No. Some, yes.
Infinitely better. Infinite. I've seen
There's-
Morgan Freeman in better. I've seen Brad Pitt in better movies.
Yes. I've seen.
I'm seeing acting.
I won't disagree with that. I've seen better performances out of them.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever seen Kevin Spacey in where he was better than this was The Usual Suspects.
What was the one where he was a next door neighbor? He won an Academy Award for that. Where he had
American Beauty.
That's it, American Beauty.
That was better than this.
Usual Suspects. Oh, that's a good one.
But
Kaiser Soze.
Yeah, that was a good one.
honestly, I avoided this movie for a long time. I would never watch this again.
Well, I mean, you're allowed to be wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You are.
I'm not wrong.
You're allowed to be wrong. I'll allow it. All right. So we know that we know that Bill gives it the finger.
Okay, I was waiting for something else out of that.
2 thumbs up.
Oh.
I fucking love this movie. Own this movie. Remember seeing it in the theaters. Fucking absolutely incredible flick.
I have to agree with Jim. I give it a thumbs up. I really enjoy this movie. It's one of my. I saw this in the theater in Panama.
Wow.
Yep. I saw this on the Post Theater, Fort Sherman, Panama. So I got a lot of history with this movie, and I've always enjoyed it. I will go back. I'll watch this movie all the damn time. I think it's an excellent movie.
All right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Nope.
Don't be sad.
When I see